We're back. When you gotta stay in, you might as well stay in and have some fun. We're back gaming together. Us gamers have been prepared for these knuckle down, buckle down times for decades. We're ready to go again. Good evening, team.
Good evening.
How's the world and the situation treating you guys?
Meh.
Shall not be discussed on stream.
Right. Yep. Best thing to do.
Let the kids run around, and they decided to run to the street.
Of course.
So then we went back inside.
Well, that's your parenting problems taken care of.
How?
Cars
Oh,
run
they
over?
survived.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
That's messed up.
That's Sam.
How long have you known me?
Yes,
I know,
exactly.
but still.
I am adjusting a couple.
We ran a
of
cult
pictures.
together. Come on.
For the
Keep that out of
viewers,
context here,
for
Jeanette.
for the viewers, context is important. This was an online cult in World of Warcraft. It was not a real cult. Yes.
I would have loved it if you had just said this was an online cult and just left it there, because that would have explained nothing.
I mean, technically, I started off trying to arrest you. That says something right there.
That means we won.
He's not wrong.
I mean, same player, different character, kind of not.
Hey,
I mean, that's
our first interaction was me kidnapping you.
Yeah, because I let you.
So, thanks for joining us this evening.
Where context is key.
I am adjusting a few sound levels and various things here, and getting this ready.
I may have been a victim of identity theft. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody took my info. They may have applied for like a student loan ID account.
I hope you got that undone, like ASAP.
I'm working on it. Lots of people are calling places now.
Oh, jeez.
Can't
I
imagine
was
why.
going to say something, but I think I can't on stream.
Yeah, we are all thinking the appropriate response to anything like that, but can't actually say it on stream. But yeah, those son of a guns, hopefully they get caught.
In other world news, it's like, if you're going to be home bored, please don't DDoS game servers that are trying to support people who are bored in these times. Because, being a douchebag is not the best way to be on the internet.
I don't think that piece of advice at all affects the people who do those things. I think it only eggs them on. Oh, goody, you mean I'm causing trouble for people? They are just what you called them, and a lot more. So, yeah, they are not people that you want to associate with. Anyway, they get their jollies out of other people hurting. That's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I've got a few videos adjusted here, so we're a little bit more where we belong on screen. And I think I'll make Brett's just a little bit bigger. He's kind of vanished there. There, now you're larger than a dot in the background. Gotcha. Alrighty, we are ready to go. Last week, as we left off, they were debating how they were going to approach a situation in the City of the Dead graveyard where, for a couple of repositories of bones have been stolen. There were hints that they were somehow or other connected people through the Castellanter clan house in Waterdeep. And there have been rumors as this was going on, which occurred coincidentally about the same time as the farmyard problems, that there had been skeletons seen rising up out of places, or they're not sure exactly where they're coming from. They just seem to be sort of appearing out of crypts or out of the ground or whatever, and walking around as if something is disturbing their rest in some way. Now, during the week, Epiphany had an encounter with a quest that he has to do on a side note, which, when he got there, turned out to be directly or indirectly possibly related to what's going on in the graveyard. So, depending on how we go tonight, things may go off in strange directions. So I'm just letting all you out there in video land know that there were some interesting things went on behind the scenes as well. So as we take up, if I am correct, Cashin decided to just like rest under a tree. The shepherd decided to stay in the sanctorium, which was where the Castellanter house inters its dead. And the rest of you were sitting around talking with the Undertaker and what have you in the Undertaker's Guild. Sir Ambrose disappeared for a while, went off, got a meal, came back about 8 o'clock at night, putting on some gear that doesn't fit real well. He's had to have it extended and various things, but he's reassembling his gear as best he can. He's a very elderly man, doesn't walk terribly fast, but he kind of blusters in and says, "Well, are you all ready to get going? Now, before you start, is there anything anybody wants to share or do?" And Epiphany, I have put you for convenience up at the entrance to the graveyard.
Yeah, would Epiphany have time to kind of make it back to the group?
Absolutely. You had a 3-hour gap that you were waiting.
Epiphany will, I gotta make a quick decision. Okay. Tell me what to do, Dice. Okay.
Crit it.
Epiphany will
No doubt in that decision.
make their way straight for wherever the largest contingent of the group is. If they're all together, they'll go right to them. If not, they'll actually make a beeline for where Shepard is.
Most of the group is in the Undertaker's Guild. I'll put you over so you can actually see the map and your tokens, so you're actually there. So if you want to pull your token down from the gate where you were coming in, and you can decide where you want to be.
Yeah, Epiphany is like, just
running on all fours. Yeah.
All fours, charging, and goes to bust and just kind of busts into the Undertaker Guild.
The door slams open suddenly, and a rather breathless Epiphany comes charging in, startling Sir Ambrose no end. He's just a little bit kind of, he almost goes for his sword, wondering if maybe one of the dead have arisen and is coming in, because the hunched form doesn't look entirely humanoid.
A very fresh one indeed.
We require to speak to our associates. Friend Relian, Brutal Smasher. We have met someone who has information and provided it to us, and it may reflect on what is going on here. But we would not wish to speak it in front of unknowns. Sir
Ambrose kind of puffs up and blusters, and his mutton chops kind of flap a little bit as, if this applies directly to what I've been overseeing, I should be included.
Going to shoot his hand out. He's going to shoot his hand out. It's directly in front of this man's face. He's just going to say, shush. grown-ups are talking about.
And then Epiphany looks around. Where is the calm corpse?
The others of you would know that Calm Corpse, aka Shepherd, went up, said he was going to keep an eye at the Sanctorum.
We would prefer that calm corpse hears this as well.
And Vane Leaper is out keeping an eye on the grounds.
Are you sure?
It will not take long.
No. I mean, no. I mean, are you sure this is something that pertains to this particular situation, or this is something that is for something else we're dealing with? Giving kind of like heavy emphasis on the other thing, kind of like just like that.
It involves a personal matter of great intimacy.
Oh, he's got a girlfriend.
Excuse me.
Who is she?
God, there are two now.
Oh Lord, I'll just nod a little bit and then go to quell the nobleman. Just be like, no, this is actually something with another case that we're dealing with. We'll be back shortly. Type deal. Like just kind of make him when he said that he meant something else that we've been dealing with also.
As you step out of the building following Epi, you hear him bluster to the Undertaker. I thought I was in charge of this. What's this all about? And the Undertaker just shrugs at him.
It's adorable. He thinks he's in charge.
Epiphany makes their way over to the Sanctorum.
Are we following Epiphany?
Yeah, apparently the way it's going right now, you're following Epiphany. And
Epiphany goes whether you guys follow or not.
Yeah, I will be the last one to follow behind, but I'm going to try to make sure the noble doesn't feel slighted, in that she's just more like, we've been handling multiple things, darling. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience on your part. We shall return shortly, and we shall be at full assistance to you for this evening. It's just, this is another matter that is, does in some ways take priority.
Corporal Banders, who has been becoming kind of more and more a friend of the group, he kind of grins at Epiphany and gives you a look like, I'll take care of it. And he steps in. Sir Ambrose, would you, while they're handling this other matter, would you come give me some advice regarding the guards after your long history with them, sir? And there's a different look on his face, and he kind of,
one for the team.
Yeah, he kind of smiles and puffs his chest out and says, "Why, of course, Corporal. What's the problem?" And you hear them conversing about various guard matters as you exit the building.
See, kill the man with kindness, and he becomes our ally.
I'm pretty sure Relian only heard kill.
No.
All right, so Cassian would see the whole troop coming bloop, 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 past him towards the Sanctorum. Is he going to fall in line and join him?
He's going to be close enough so that he can hear, but he's still going to keep a watch out for things.
Kind of at the door, keep looking around the courtyard. Dark is beginning to fall. It's getting harder and harder to see things, and there's very little lights in the graveyard. The people who picnic and do various things in the vast lawns of this area have started going home. There are only a couple of people. You see an elderly woman carrying a bouquet of flowers, probably heading for a grave, and just a couple of people still in the grounds, but by and large it is completely vacated.
If the door's open, or Epiphany would just walk in.
The doorway to this building is a kind of an archway with pillars, so you can just walk directly in. There aren't truly doors. It kind of narrows down to keep the elements out a bit, but with a long entry portico, but you can walk straight in without opening doors.
Calm corpse.
I turn to face them. Yes, why are you here this early?
We encountered some information that may be relevant to your concerns in this place.
You mean the skeleton or the dead rising?
Yes, and it also concerns a source that you are personally vested in discovering more information about.
Alright. I just cross my arms. Very well.
I have come into information about an individual known as Otto Castile, who is the illegitimate son of one Alphonse Castellanter.
Let me get my thing up. Alphonse.
And be sure you're looking at the new one that I gave you over the week. It was in channel.
Yeah, I don't have an Alphonse
Yeah.
in my list.
Okay, let's go to the new one then. In the actual Waterdeep channel, there is a new chart that has been given.
Which channel? The Sunday? Oh, okay.
All of the freaking talk about the disease pushed it way up.
Yeah.
No, I only have Osvaldo, Savio, and Lorenzo. I don't have an Alphonse.
Let me let me do it on my phone.
Oh, this one. Okay. I thought you were talking about my list, not your list.
No,
Never
it
mind.
was the one that she provided, the Castellanter family tree.
Okay. I see the Alphonse Castellanter name.
Otto Castile is illegitimate and apparently half drow. And he is a necromancer. The information I have suggests that he's taken to shopping in the city of the dead, for lack of a better word.
I understand your meaning.
And I know that specifically he has stolen at least 2 specific remains.
Do you know which remains these are?
Identified Leo Cassini and Byron Fellcroft.
And Leo is the one that's related to the Castellanters, just not straight from the Castellanter line, correct?
Yeah, there are 2 illegitimate sons related directly, and then this Fellcroft, who is somehow or other connected.
Cousin twice removed what?
So,
This is unfortunate. It looks like that it's an enemy of an enemy is my friend situation, although they're definitely not my friend if they're dealing in this kind of magic.
and Epiphany, because I rolled a freaking 20, okay. Epiphany sort of looks out. Are we the only ones in here?
Yes.
I would have closed off the Sanctorum for my investigation.
Well, like I said, there's no actual doors. It's a portico, long, narrow portico that you walk down, has statuary and pillars, and then you enter into the back circular or almost circular area where all of these niches are with the reliquaries of the, well, niches, notches, and niches, whatever. There's holes in the wall where these things are put, and the There are a lot of empty ones. Some of them are just never been occupied yet. But this sanctorum is almost exclusively related to the Castellander family and those who have come under special note of the Castellander family and therefore been given special burials and funerals and so forth.
Okay.
There was one other bit of information that we discovered that may be it is of great personal note, and that is why we suggested that it was intimate. We do not like one of you.
Only one.
We are neutral on one of you, but the rest of you we consider
I'm
acceptable.
not surprised.
The source of this information suggested where I came from as well. And Epiphany sort of straightens up a bit.
Epi, I've got a two-parter question for you.
Speak.
How much do you trust the source of this info, and what did this cost you?
Nothing.
That's a bit suspect, don't you think?
Indeed. But it is the only lead we have.
It's a lead we can take, but take it under consideration.
There are things such as that symbol that you have of the Castellanters. It was familiar to us. Certain names were familiar to us. What was spoken to us rings truthful. And it was suggested to us that we are a creation of Savio Castellanter.
Let's go back up here. Savio, where? Ah, okay, I see now. Savio. We haven't seen him for nearly 2 years.
Friend Rillian, when did we encounter each other?
Over a year now.
And we wandered for some time without you. Between the glass and water, and the street, and then
Yeah,
Friend Rillian.
I'd say it's been almost a year and a half, and with the time you wanted by yourself, does the time line up?
It seems to. If we were to see a representation of Savio Castellanter, it would clear up a few lingering questions.
There is no doubt some form of painting or some such at the House of Castellanter.
And there is also this, and Epiphany reaches into their pack and pulls out the red book and flips to the author's note, essentially, and it's signed SC.
And you've had this book.
We took it from the place where we were created. The rest we gave for our protection.
I won't outright and say that you're not Savio Castellanter. It is plausible with the time frame and the little evidence we have. I would say that we should probably look into this matter more if you wish.
We are simply curious as to where that places us in the scheme of things. Is this information we can use?
It
It
might
is.
make.
It, the
It is
son of-
useful information, just unsure how useful it could be.
Depending on its potential, it could open doors. If used correctly.
You said that also. What was his last name?
You are so muffled, dude.
Yeah, but he's kind of, to explain to everybody, he's under less than perfect circumstances for his broadcast tonight because he's got to make do for the internet in these times where everybody's on the internet and that's their only really good form of partying. Their internet went out, so he's having a little trouble. He's having to jerry-rig the internet.
I was able to hear him. He asked about Otto
Trying to figure out what his last name is. Otto.
Yeah.
Castillo.
Castile. Otto
Yeah,
Castile.
Otto Castile. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Yes.
could hear you before. You just sounded a little bit like you were maybe wearing a quarantine
A hoodie?
mask.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I have my microphone almost in my mouth, so there's not much louder I can get.
Yeah, no, that's actually perfect on volume. It just before it sounded like you were talking through like 3 layers of material.
Yeah, we just figured you had a quarantine mask on, so yeah, typical.
It could be that this Otto, it's his bid for power in the Castellanter family. Alphonse was the oldest son of Vincenzo Cast, correct?
Correct. Let me put a picture up that will actually, let me see if I can find the complete one while you guys are talking. Now that you have a little bit of the information with what Epiphany's given you, I'll make it a little clearer.
But, Calm Corpse, we believe, should this information prove to be correct, it may link us to the strange occurrences in the city of the dead.
Again, plausible. And again, useful information. Still trying to figure out how it could be useful in the right circumstance.
Until proven otherwise, I would say that our friend beside us is not directly any cause, but without enough information, it's very hard to determine whether it is or is not. That is how I see it.
Are you guys able to see? I know they can on the screen, but are you able to see that picture?
Yes.
I'm gonna zoom in on a little because, Okay.
And so it looks like it's Otto's half brother and the family doctor. That information that Epiphany had.
So, Sealy. It looks like this is just Otto's bid for power in the castle. Everyone else is dying off, including his own brother. And is it? I don't believe it's just a coincidence that they were going around killing half-elves.
But what we found curious about the information is that Otto Castile is half drow.
It is quite curious. We have more pieces of the greater puzzle, but alas are still unable to fully put it together yet.
But as it is, it seems we have questions that can only be answered by the Castellanters.
How does this other man play in?
Which other man?
Well, there's two that has been risen, Leo Cassini and this other man. What was the name again for the other man?
Byron Fellcroft.
Oh, there he is. It's right there in the box. Okay.
We understand that he was the family body mender.
If I'm a physician, doctor.
Yes, that was the word.
Perhaps someone who could verify his bloodline? Others might wave it off and deny him, but the word of someone who may have had a hand in giving birth to him could do so. Noble bloodlines in this, usually family doctors are common. That just raises a whole other.
But yes,
it would depend on the level of necromancy used. If it's just simple necromancy, a skeleton can't talk.
Yes, it was suggested that they were pulled for experimentations rather than to be raised.
Assumptions and what we may find in the end is two different things, I suppose.
I will attach this picture that I have up on the screen to the actual Discord channel after the broadcast, since I can't easily get to it right now. But do you need it up any longer? You have all the information except the 3 in the lower left was the only thing that was missing off of the one that you had.
Epi, I want you to know something. No matter what you are, no matter where you come from, no matter who you or what you were before, if anything, you're still my friend and my darling little brother. Come and give me a hug.
Six arms come out of the tarp and hugging.
The Epiphany said, we are unsure if this means we are simply a thing or if we should be Epiphany Gasolanter. Is that correct? We don't know. We
No.
are confused by it.
What do you want to be?
That's right. It's all about what you want to be.
Regardless of whether you're a Castellenter or if you were Epiphany, doesn't matter which way. You're not a thing, you're a person.
At the very least, you have a conscience. Conscious?
And you think for yourself.
What is it?
Consciousness, soul, being.
You are who you choose to be, Epiphany.
Other cliches.
The real treasure was in the friendship we found along the way.
Okay.
I think we found the one.
We now
we
have
found the one.
we now have Pokemon music playing in the background.
I think we found the one that Epiphany does not like.
Ouch.
Remember, kids, friendship is magic.
I love you.
And
You
about-
love
No,
me.
Nope, I'm out.
Anyway, that
Yeah,
is that is the information we had. It may we agree that we should investigate the current happening, but perhaps as far as the source of it, it may be found with this Otto Castillo.
Alright, so I guess if there's nothing else, I guess we're just waiting until nightfall to see what's going on.
Nightfall has pretty much fallen with a thud. It is dark outside as this has been going on. It's gotten quite dark. There's about a quartering moon. It gives just the hint of light to those who don't have dark vision, but it's pretty dark to those. To the rest of you, you're seeing reasonably well because there is dim light in the area. It's not completely dark. But you do notice, I will say Cashin notices, that the doors to the Undertaker Guild opened up, and Sir Ambrose came out of there still walking with Corporal Banders, and he looks like he's starting to patrol the area that he said that he was going to be going around and around. Again, he patrols very slowly with a kind of a hitch in his gait. It's quite obvious he has some old war wounds kind of thing. He took an arrow to the knee, and he's not walking as fast as he used to.
I will, since you know, that whole thing with the Dragonborns, I will, take my mace out for, the Warhammer rather, and, I will cast light on it myself.
Hey.
Very good.
I see you've learned some new tricks.
I'm always full of surprises, darlings.
Do you have a favorite color?
Well, considering that my banner is the eclipse, I would say black like my soul. Ding.
I do not think we can turn light black. Never mind.
Black light. Everything that is phosphorescent now glows all over the art.
I'm seeing marks in the universe that I didn't want to see.
Psychedelic trips. It's back to my youth. Sit around contemplating black light posters.
Light made out of shadow. Epi, remind me to experiment with that later.
Brilliant, have you ever considered that there might be magics you're not supposed to play with?
Relin is just going to give him a very long look, his two mix-matched glowing eyes peering out from under his hood, and he just thrusts out one of his arms and motions to the graveyard. What do you think we're doing?
Smashing skeleton?
Stopping necromancers, dear. He has limits.
Here we go, smashing skeletons in the park.
Spooky skeletons.
This is where the skeletons have their picnic.
Perfect.
Let's hope not.
Sir Ambrose and friend come strolling up. They notice you guys kind of standing looking out. Sir Ambrose puts his hand on his hip and raises his voice. Well, are you going to be helping me or not?
We were just about to start, my dear. Do not worry. We are professionals on this.
Professionals. The young these days, they all think they're professionals.
I'm sorry, what was that, young man?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think I'm older than you.
Then Sir Ambrose, I doubt it. Shepherd might, yeah, but not Cashin, I guarantee.
I think Cashin said he was in his 70s.
68.
I don't have an age on him, but he's supposed to be really old, very gray in the beard, limping along. Frequently uses his sword as a kind of a crutch or a cane to help him along.
We can just say he's same age.
Anyway, what stations are you going to be handling? Are you all just going to be guarding the Sanctorum because of the castle enter information, or are you going to be patrolling other areas?
I figured I was going to take somewhere around start here-ish.
Okay, use your tokens because your positioning tonight may turn out to be important. You don't know what's going on. So I do want you to actively move your tokens every minute or so to kind of indicate the general area where you are on this.
Where were the skeletons last sighted?
Roaming the grounds in the general area of this whole big area, large, yeah, that's the way to do it. This whole area, basically this whole area is where they've been seen so far.
I say the shepherd sticks in the sanctorum and the rest of us kind of spread out, but within running distance of the sanctorum, just so each of us can see what we can see.
Right.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
So I guess Relian will go over Mia.
Cashin will patrol this section.
All right. Epiphany, are you where you're going to be remaining?
Yeah, we'll be like here, I suppose.
Okay, so basically you're making sure you stick close to the Castellanter mausoleum area is what you're keeping your eye on. The time goes on, you patrol for probably 2 hours. Sir Ambrose, as you can tell as time goes on, is less than probably the best person for this task, but he probably was the only one available. He has to stop every now and then. In fact, Corporal Banders actually takes his arm and kind of helps him along from time to time. He gets slower and slower as the night goes on, and things are wearing out his old legs. By the time he's made one complete circuit, he's really hobbling along. He's just barely doing things. You hear from, let's just start with either give, whichever is highest, roll your perception or your passive perception. Give me whatever is your highest.
Passive 15.
It's passive 10.
Perception roll.
You can try to roll it. Yeah.
Am I doing this since I'm inside?
Yes, you probably would as well.
Damn.
What's your passive, La Luna?
It's 10. And I forgot to switch over the thing. Oopsies.
Yeah, my pass is 12. I'll take that.
Okay.
I rolled a 15. My passive is 16.
Okay, so everybody has basically rolled high enough or has a high enough passive that better or more distantly, depending on your location around the tomb, you hear a screaming of what sounds like an elderly woman coming from the direction of the gate that Epiphany came in.
This one?
Yes.
Cashin will be immediately bolting over there. Just dashing and dashing.
As you come up just past the Y of that road, you see roses in the lane that look like somebody, there's a few of them, and then there's a bunch, the entire rat bunch, and then a few more of them, and then there's no more of them leading out towards that gate. And you, with your perception, I will say that you probably are able to spot the elderly woman that you noticed earlier running like hell's on her heels for the gate, screaming her head off.
Away from the City of the Dead or towards
Yes,
the
out.
city?
She's running out, away. Cashin would probably be the only one to actually see the woman, but all of you heard the screams.
I would walk towards the door, but then move back because I would assume at least one or two would go out to see what's happening.
I will probably investigate the screaming noise, and most likely would be dashing until I got closer.
Very good.
Varys will get closer, but keep a distance to where he can see both the party and the area around in case there's anything else that's seen.
Oh, mister, I'm out of shape.
If only Shepard heard that.
What would he say?
Well, no, you're not out of shape. You're still in shape. That round is indeed a shape.
He's not fat. He's just strong.
Would the stick be considered a shape?
A line.
It's a line.
As Cassian moves down the lane, he is the first one to notice that there is a form lumbering out of the building just up on his left up there. Let me get it where you can see it. There is a form, and it moves herky-jerky, like it's trying to get its act together and trying to walk, but it is definitely seems out of control of things. Not long behind that, as Cassian moves forward, and what would his initial reaction be? When you see this form, what do you do your first second or two?
He's going to analyze and try and recall what kind of undead this is.
He wouldn't have too much trouble figuring it out because it's not well dressed. The clothing is not on it very thoroughly, and you are, with your vision, you have good vision being elf, and you are able to spot the moon shining, glistening off a little bit of white that indicates its bones. You can guess it's a skeleton. Not far behind him, as the group of you start coming to his aid to see what's going on, Relian is the next one to spot the ground beginning to move near him. And
See, underneath!
And then something is pushing the dirt aside and crawling out, and you see a bony arm extending out of that. Before long, pretty much all of you begin to see lumbering shapes all over the graveyard.
Perhaps this was an ill-advised plan.
We got this.
Those are the best kind!
Are you all yelling this?
Yes.
Poor old Sir Ambrose comes lumbering across. He actually probably was on the opposite side by this time, so he probably would have been over the other side, and he comes lumbering through past the door to the sanctorum. Oh no! They're on the loose! Oh my! Sound the alarm! Sound the alarm!
You know who Ambrose reminds me of?
I hope he reminds you of the guy who had to pedal faster in The Mummy.
He reminds me of Mace Tyrell, like
Yep.
the bumbling
Exactly.
Lord of Highgarden who thinks he's really charismatic and intelligent, but really not.
Oh, jeez.
He was good at war, but that was only because he went to battles that he knew he could win.
And had overwhelming numbers.
Exactly.
And good
And have other
commanders.
people plan his strategies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Each of you tell me what your reactions will be to the lumbering creatures about the yard.
Cassian is going to further close the distance between the skeleton here and him and fire his hand crossbow at it.
All right. Roll for initiative. I'm going to put a skeleton to the side. That will be just for I'll put 2 skeletons, so there's 2 turns on them, actually.
I swear to God, if these things turned out to be friendly and we didn't have to fight them, I'm going to smack you later.
They probably will.
Oh, fudge the heck yes.
Oh, Aurelian's super excited.
So
It's
can
actually
I?
not bad on the initiative for me.
So
And
can I roll my attack?
yeah, go ahead, but I've got to do a couple of things here on my tokens so that I know which is which on these. So I will be ignoring you for just a moment so that I have an identifier on these.
I probably, not trying to move myself, I'm trying to measure things out, damn it. I probably won't see any just yet, so I'm just going to ready myself for when I do. Because the foot range on these things are ridiculous. They'll take forever to get here.
As I said, the colors are only so I can tell the two rolls apart because I've divided them up rather than having them all go in one roll. The two that I'm going to put down in the building are not in the combat. They are only reference ones for me, is the only reason that they are there, so ignore those two. I just have to know which one I'm looking at. All right, so first we have Cashin, who is getting an initial roll since it was not doing anything, and then we will go into the turn order. So Cashin rolled an 11, which does not hit. Relian, you are up.
Okay, I guess we're doing this now. He just thrusts out one of his hand. He does the whole paint a circle with fiery magic in the air, and he's going to shoot off some impressive fireworks at this guy.
Okay. All right.
Ooh.
So those are scorching rays. So all but the middle one hit, and the last one critted. Yeah. If you wish, let me take a look here, because you're probably No, I guess you're going to pretty much need all of that. Yeah, you take him down with your 2 hits. Is basically what it boils down to. The 24 plus 7 takes him down.
Okay, so we've learned.
Actually, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to say that I'm not going to take these in order. I'm going to say your crit took him down, and you still have the ray number 1 to fire at somebody else if you want to.
In that case, I'll go ahead and fire it over at this one.
Okay, so that one gets 7 damage on him. Alrighty, the skeletons. First I gotta see what color. Orange skeletons are next. And there is a kind of a hiss comes out of them as one of their number is taken down, and they stretch out their arms. Some of them are carrying swords and bows and various things, and they lift them and begin lumbering into range to try and get it. Let me take a look at their things, see if any of them range. I need range. Okay.
You mad? You mad? Come at me, bros!
Yep, both of them are disadvantaged, but they both will be firing at Cashin there. So let me fire those two. With disadvantage, they miss him. This one over here that Relian hit is going to fire at him, and they will also take their movement in addition, so they'd be down a little closer. And but short bow zings at Relian. Let me do some measurements here on you to make sure what his distance is. Yeah, he's still the disadvantage, so he misses on Relian. And I've got one more here. So there he is. He doesn't have anyone in range. I don't think he can reach Varus. Oh, yes he can, by golly. Okay, so he's at disadvantage, but he can indeed fire at Varus. What's a 16 on your armor, Varus?
16 misses. My AC is 17.
Okay, he would have hit you if he'd had a normal attack or an advantage attack, but he missed you. All right, so all of these arrows miss, but all of the ones still remaining take a lumbering step towards their targets, which I'm going to assume is about the width of their diameter. All righty, Nokri.
It's probably still too soon for me to reach anybody and hit them, huh? And they're still out of my visual range. So what, 60 feet with the lights?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And are any of the group of you who are in fighting, are you yelling about what you're doing, that you see someone or anything? So those who don't actually spot any would be able to see them, know where they are?
Cashin will yell out that there are 3 near him, and he also sees a 4th at his left.
Right, you wouldn't be able to see the furthest one. He would be behind a building, but you would probably be
Same
able
with this one.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see those. So, but you would be able to see 4 of them in your range there.
There's one by the Undertaker's Guild as well.
So is Nokri just moving, or has she got a range?
I mean, I could move up and help Cashin with his. Since you've got the old guy and Banders behind you, Relian's not that far, and Relian has range, and then Epiphany is close at hand. So yeah, I'll back up Cassian for a bit. That way, once we're done with the ones there, we can fall back and with the group type deal. So I will probably, yeah, I'll move up towards the sound of his voice. Just right there, give or take. That's all I can do at the moment.
Very good, Cashin.
Cashin is going to dash forward and attack this skeleton with his rapier.
And you were using the thieves' ability to dash?
Cunning action, yeah.
Roll your attack. That's a hit for 12 damage.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing. Okie doke. From inside.
Oh wait, or is it too late?
Go ahead. What have you got? Bonus action or something?
He's then going to retreat back using 30 feet, going back 30 feet with fancy footwork.
And for some reason, I've got 2 of you on this list. Your roll was a 15, Cashin?
Yes.
Let me take off the extraneous one. Didn't make any difference in your positioning, but it does give me double vision. All right. What did you say you were doing after?
After attacking the skeleton, he's going to retreat back with
Okay.
fancy footwork.
Okay, keeping your distance. Very good. Varus.
Okay, so this southern skeleton near the Undertaker's Guild is about 250 away from Varus. Using his Step of the Wind key ability, going and then dash as a bonus action, fire his longbow as an action without disadvantage. So because he'll
Only catching every other word, but I get the idea. You've used some abilities to move farther than you normally would, and you are sending your bow at this.
pretty much, yeah. Let me roll the bow attack.
That's a hit.
18 to hit, 11 piercing.
You begin to hear like odd noises coming from around you at various tombs. It appears the battle is causing a disturbance in general in the thing. You don't see any more bodies appearing.
In the forest?
Yes, precisely. There just seems something about whatever the magic was that caused all this to occur. It is causing uneasy dead all over the place. So you're hearing sounds of creaking and groaning and hissing sounds, but you don't see any more skeletons at this time. Epiphany.
I'll lay down with the rest.
Epiphany will use a bonus action to cast Expeditious Retreat. So.
Oh, and I forgot to put him on the list.
And then he's going to dash forward as a bonus action and move. So he'll be up to 60 feet here, which puts him within range of this fellow. And he will. Might as well start debuffing. He's going to cast a Mind Sliver at him.
Okay, and there's what's the protection roll?
Intelligence.
Okay.
DC 13 intelligence save or 5 psychic.
Yeah, let me double check, make sure they're not immune to psychic. I wasn't sure if they were or not. So
With it nat 20.
No, nat 1, and it has a -1.
You destroyed man's mind.
I roll a d6 for me, Epiphany. If you had 6 that, I would say you blew its skull apart, but no, it just takes the 5 psychic damage. And it was at, which one were you aiming at?
The one that's closest to me.
Okay, so okay. So,
And it's going to take a -2 on its next saving throw before my next turn.
Okay, Shepherd.
The shepherd is really not going to be able to do anything because it's 90 feet to get out of the sanctorum.
Yeah, they're all having to run a long ways, but the only way you get into the battle is start running. And if they need help,
The shepherd doesn't run.
well, floats, flies,
Wow.
whatever he's going to do.
Yeah, he's going to move 30 feet there. And that's his turn.
And the other group of skeletons now move forward. Cassian is able to see, I'll say he can see him just barely coming around the building that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I really ought to measure what the distance is because your tokens are hugely larger than Yeah, a little less than the diameter of a token is 30 feet, so he'd be about there. So he again narrows the distance now, so he is no longer, I don't think, at disadvantage. No, he's not. So he will fire his short bow at Cashin. And he rolls a 9.
Nope.
8. I am too farsighted. I gotta get back here to see it. Anyway, so it misses. This one here will try to fire, but he is still at disadvantage. 13. This one can just barely see you. He's definitely at disadvantage.
Did you say that the second one rolled a 13?
Yes.
All right, miss.
Yeah. And this last one, disadvantage saved you because he rolled a very good roll, but he missed you on disadvantage. Finally, this one, 20, just barely might reach Varys. Nope, 11 that won't hit. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have moved, and it is now Relion's turn again.
Okay, let's see. 90 feet, so yeah, I could. Relian is going to move. Let's see, where could I move? Right.
Like I said, for Quickie, it's about 2/3 the width of your tokens.
Gotcha. In that case, okay. There we go. Relian's going to move over here, so he's closer to the action up here, but he's still just barely close enough to Bammo.
Firecrackers for the one by Epiphany.
At this fellow.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's 8, 11 damage. That one goes down.
Haha, first blood is mine twice over.
And the orange skeletons, what remains of them, are going to... Epiphany, did I accidentally put an orange dot on you, or is that orange dot for something?
No, that's my. I'll be purple.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this one will move up to about there. This one will move to about there. And this one will move to about there. And more at Cashin. They're just, he's what they can see at this point in time, so they are aiming at him. So the top two are at Cashin, and we've got one at Varys. 1, 2, 3. And I've got to measure this one up here, see if he's managed to. Ooh, he's still just barely out of normal range. So it's all disadvantage. Once again, be glad that it is, because there were some crits in that. However, the first one, which is this one right here, rolled a 21 for 3 piercing damage on Cashin. The second one rolled a 14, which is not enough, correct? Oh, it is enough. Okay.
Depends on if you use player agency.
Mine is, the way I always go is that attacker has the draw.
All right, so he hits.
So it's another 3 from that one, and Varys got missed. You would have been critted if it hadn't been for disadvantage. So
You still have disadvantage due to range?
Yes, he still has disadvantage due to range, so he did not crit you. All right, it is now Corporal Banders, who has been trying to help the old man run, but the old man is so slow and heaving along so badly, Corporal Banders drops his arm and makes a beeline for where things are coming from. So he's going to do a full on dash 1, 2 to get to there. And Sir Ambrose goes only about that far. Let me see if he's got any ranged weapons at all. Oh yes, he slowly heaves up. It takes him a while to steady it. It wobbles a lot, but he manages to bring a heavy crossbow up. Let's see, make sure yes, he's well in range. He is going to fire at the orange one south of Varus and try to hit it. He misses. He wobbles, and you can see the point of the crossbow, the bolt going like this as he's firing it. Nokri.
Sorry, what was that?
Your turn.
Okay, I wasn't sure because it cut out a little bit for me, and part of my brain was like, I wonder if he misses, does he hit Varus?
No, it wasn't.
Down.
Wasn't that bad of an attack?
Yeah. I still have like 100 feet to reach these dudes. Like,
Yeah, these mouse are big.
yeah, there's something a little off about this. It's not scaled. I don't really think it's
No,
scaled.
the map is to scale. Your tokens are not. Your tokens are like 20 times that you ought to be a token about. Think about the people that were on here. Your token ought to be like that.
Mm.
Yeah, down
Okay.
here.
Yeah. So
Alright.
I put you larger so that you can see where you are.
Okay. I figured it's like another 2 rounds of doing nothing. That's why I was like,
Yep.
as far as I can move is like pretty much here at a dash, and then just that's it. I got nothing.
Cashin.
Cashin just yells at Nokri, "Please be my arrow sponge," as he dances with this current skeleton. Back into the fray.
Okay, that is a hit for 12. That one's down.
All right, and with that done, he doesn't see no reason to actually help Nokri now, so he dashes over to her.
Very good. Varus.
Varus is going to stand up, take a second longbow shot at that orange skeleton to the south.
Hit.
3 to hit for 7 damage.
He's still up, but he's missing an entire rib cage. The arrow ricocheted around in the rib cage and knocked bones all over the place. So it's basically a head, a couple of arms, and a spine without any of the rib cages attached.
And Corporal Banders looks like he was attacking that one, right?
He's heading in to try and get to it. Yeah, he had to get in range, but yes, he's heading that way.
Okay, then with his movement, Varus will start heading for the yellow over.
Okay. Epiphany.
And that's my turn.
Epiphany is going to, well, not really anything he can do, so they're just going to take here, and they're just gonna triple dash or double dash.
Very good. You have any other things? That's it. Shepherd.
Takes action, it's action, yep.
Very good. Shepherd. When it comes to things like rogues and monks, they sometimes have things beyond their actions and bonus actions, so always double check. Shepherd.
Let's see, right there. So right where the health bar is. I move 30 feet. And that ends my turn.
Very good.
Quick and to the point.
Worst healer ever.
You guys decided to be all around here instead of being with me.
It's a perimeters thing. Who knew? Well, first off, we didn't know that there was going to be suddenly magically
Plus, you're the one restricting yourself to a waddle.
I do so for a reason.
This is way more than 2 skeletons. Varys says, looking around.
I believe it's the yellow skeletons are up, and they do their rattling forward on their moves. There we go. Now let's see what they've got on ranges here. Looks like about the same between Varys or Cashin on these. Yeah, a little closer on Cashin, but it's still not in, doesn't alter the roll any. So this one doesn't have any. Okay, so we've got one firing at Varys. The 2 yellow ones here are going, if I have the right thing, these 2 are going to fire at Cashin. This one over here has nobody in sight. So we have 1, 2, 3 rolls. All of them are at disadvantage, so the only one that did anything of value was the northern one, the most northern of the ones. This one here rolled a 14 on Cashin. You take 5 piercing damage. All the others went wild. Again, there were crits in that, but their disadvantage is saving you guys. Relian.
Question, DM. DM. Quick question. Oh no, it's only on me. Never mind. I read double check the spell thing.
Okay, Relian.
Let's see here. I guess the best thing to do right now would be, I'm gonna have to dash to get closer to the other skeleton so I can do something useful next turn. So I guess I'll do that. Right about there. Bloop. And that's it. Dash action, that's pretty much it.
You can still use that movement of yours.
Beg your pardon?
You can move 90 feet. Or am I misremembering?
What in God's name are you talking about?
30 and 30 is 60.
Never mind.
You feeling okay?
No.
So orange skeletons are up. Don't say that these days. Don't say you're feeling bad. Make warding signs
Not
in
physically.
the air.
Not physically.
What's remaining of the orange skeletons will take their movements. That one closes on. These are, I don't think either of those 2 are going to be at disadvantage. This one's going to be in melee range. This one actually is in normal, pretty much in normal range. I'm going to call it normal range that it's calling into because of the inaccurate measurement. So the one on the south that's just barely waddling along is going to take one parting shot at Varys as he turns for the others. Try to shoot him in the back. And a 14, he's still at disadvantage, right? Let me measure that. Oh, yeah. So 14 misses, right? And then the short, a short sword comes out from the one near Cashin. He swings with a short sword for a crit, 7 piercing damage.
Boy, why am I so... Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you also were the first one up in their face.
Yeah, you were the one that was right there. And then
But Nakri's the shiny one. She should be the one being hit.
now they're firing at Nakri, and it is not at disadvantage. It's a 16. What's your armor class, Nakri? Yeah, that misses.
Sorry?
16 misses your armor class, right?
Yes, sorry. I just had something pop up on my screen. Forgive me.
All right, Corporal Banders will, now that he's getting closer in range, he will fire his crossbow a lot more steady at the orange one at the south, and he hits it thoroughly, takes this one down. He will then use his movement to go this way. And Sir Ambrose will shuffle up another 20 feet or so, trying to peer at these things, and he will take a shot with his. And it wobbles some more. He's at disadvantage, I'm afraid. He misses, so it is now Nakri's turn.
Yeah, I will scooch up so I'm in striking distance. And, yeah, one-handed warhammer on over the top. Like, just kind of bring the arm down and try and strike it across the head.
Okay. Smash-a-rooney for 11. A lot of body parts fall off of it, but it's still got the arm holding the short sword that it was carrying. But boy, you really knocked a lot of its bones off. There's bones all over the ground from that one. Rattle, 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 as they fall over and burst into powder. Cassian, take this thing out.
Have hiding behind Nakri so he doesn't get shot at. He's going to, he's going to stab at it. No.
It got you rattled.
I forget, does your cunning action allow you to dodge?
Yeah, no.
No, okay.
Varys.
Dash, disengage, or hide.
Okay. On your next turn, it might be better. Just throwing ideas out. It might be better engage. Pretty. My turn, though. I am going to. Still a little bit too far away. So I will take another longbow shot at that skeleton to the south.
Actually, wait a minute. Didn't that one get taken out by...
Yeah.
I forgot to put an X on it, but it's out.
Oh, okay. In that case, I will take my full dash towards this skeleton. Put me 50. So action dash, and while I'm dashing, string the bow over. I'm reaching for my quarterstaff, or my trident, sorry.
Okay. Preparing to head into melee as soon as you close the distance. Okay, so Epiphany, you're up.
Epiphany moved 90 feet.
Okay, Shepard.
I moved 30 feet. And I'm actually finally at the door.
You and Sir Ambrose waddling slowly into battle.
A credit to your team.
Yellow skeletons. They're yellow. That's what they are. They're plain yellow. So they are up. This one moves forward here. He can't do much. This one moves forward here. This one moves forward here. and this one moves forward here. So, actually, this one wouldn't have gone that way. Let me put him back. He would have closed towards Varus and be in melee range. Short sword on Varus. There we are. He critted.
Oh boy. Good thing I typed something to you. I don't know if you saw it.
Not if it's not in. Oh wait.
I typed it in the game chat.
Ah, okay.
I forgot to mention by the time I said person to take.
And I was looking at the wrong thing. He did not crit. He missed. Bonus. Okay. All right. Anyway, he did miss. I was wrong. I read the wrong roll. All right. So now we've got one firing from this direction at Cashin, who is at disadvantage, and we've got one firing at. Nah, doesn't do much advantage either way. He'll fire at Varus from there, so both of them are at disadvantage. Two bows at disadvantage. 1, 2, and 12 and 13. Neither of those hit. So we are up to Relian.
Okay. I actually think these Cashin and Nokri have these two handled, so let's see what we got, man. Yep. Okay, I'm going to move 30 feet this way, which
I'll say that since the measurements aren't precise here, I'll say you can just barely see him around the corner of the building, and he doesn't have cover, just regular shot.
Okay, well in that case, Relian's going to take aim and blip it blip.
That is a 5-9 on him.
Is he still up?
Yes.
I don't think this one's taken any hit, has he?
The one by you has just now took damage from Relian. This one has not taken damage. This one has not taken damage. This one has not taken damage.
I'm gonna burn some sorcery points.
Relian casts Eldritch and casts Magic Gun.
There we go.
Okie doke. Just out of curiosity. Okay.
24.
Alrighty, thank you. And that was at the one you can just barely see there. That takes him down.
Mm-hmm. I love being powerful!
Alrighty.
Also like being loud.
He's just happy. And the yellow ones are up again. Did I? Yeah, I guess.
Orange.
Yeah, this has to be the orange ones. Yes, yes, it is. Okay. So orange ones are up. What do we only have those two. So one takes a swipe at, see, he's already in melee range. This one moves up closer, but I would say they're still out of melee range. So we've got one short bow on Nokri at regular roll. 22 will hit for 3 piercing damage on Nokri.
I'd like to counter that by tossing up shield.
All right.
I'm at 18. Where's that spell card? That'll give me a +5 to my AC.
And that would be enough. It rolled a 22. And Cashin, yours, the too many arms and parts missing off the one by you. He swung but missed you, so no strike there. And we are up to Colonel. I keep calling him Colonel. I'm giving him a promotion tonight. Corporal Banders, who is now going to try and close in a bit more to help his range and fire his crossbow again. He misses. And we've got Sir Ambrose, who stumbles forward a little bit and tries to do the same. He rolls a 17, which actually does hit. He actually hits something. Unbelievable. He did a whole 3 damage. Alrighty. You hear him go, hit! I hit it! Yes! And he's over cheering the whole thing for 3 points. Nakri.
Let's see. Still got the one in front of me.
Now there's
Uh,
2 by you there.
Yeah.
The one to the north of you will be in melee range within this next round.
Alright. I'm gonna keep beating on the one that's like directly beside me just to get him out of there. Where's my card? All of a sudden I suddenly can't find my windows. My apologies. And I'll just one hand smack it.
That's a miss.
Nope. Spin wide. Sweet chariot.
Just cash in.
Um
Oh, you got more?
I'm double checking. Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna bonus action action surge and then smack it again.
Okay.
Just try and end that one as quickly as possible. A bit better. Probably not enough. I don't know.
That's still a miss.
Alright.
You're just not used to swinging one-handed. All right, Cashin, you're up.
Cashin's head was nearly bapped by that first swing. Watch where you're swinging, as he
Then
just
don't be so close.
thrust forward. You're my arrow sponge.
That's a miss.
Remember, cash in social distancing.
Wow.
I'm only 3 feet from my computer. Is that a problem? You have any bonus actions, or is that it?
With fancy footwork, he is going to retreat over here, and then disengage back over here.
Okay. Varus.
Varus is going, well, the skeleton in front of him just exploded. So he is going to continue running, dashing up into this one's face.
Let me put you in front here so you can not be hidden behind him. Okay, you're right up. Was that, did you have to take a dash action?
What was it?
Did you have to take a dash action, or do you still have a fight action left? I don't know what all you're using for your dashes.
I'll use my last, key point, Step of the Winds, which will allow me to take a dash action as a bonus action, and then I'll smack it with the blunt end of my trident.
Okay. Hilt
So
attack.
This will say piercing damage, but it's bludgeoning.
Right. All right. So that's a hit. So you hit it for 5 damage, and it goes right through that rib cage, knocking ribs all over.
Are skeletons vulnerable to bludgeoning damage?
Yes. As a matter of fact, they don't have it, but I would think that they would actually they're vulnerable. Yes, they are vulnerable. So yeah. So vulnerability gives it how much more?
It's double damage.
Yeah.
So double strike, double hit.
Double the damage.
Okay.
So
all right. So
5
10.
damage,
It's resistance, but backwards.
Yep. All right, so he took 10 damage on that. Very good. Yes, thank you for reminding me about the bludgeoning. All right, and that would have counted on Nokri's as well. What was your damage that you did when you smacked yours? Go back and find out what your bludgeoning damage was.
I think it was 9.
It was 2 plus 9, 11.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You took that one down, actually. That one is gone.
We were fighting a figment of our imagination.
It just was right on the cusp there, and it just staggered for a few more times, and you thought it was still up, but not quite. All right, Epiphany.
The missing works.
Epiphany is going to take a bonus action to spend 2 sorcery points to make a first level spell slot. And something about this seems too easy. Epiphany is just going to move to this middle area here and keep an eye out and look around to see if there's anything that's, like, if there's anything trying to like sneak up from this way or this way to the sanctorium that's not like this skeleton over here.
Okay, very good. Shepherd.
Before I start moving again, I'm looking around, see if anything is to approach the sanctorium. So should I roll a perception roll?
Yes.
Okay. Let me go back to the core page. Perception. Not too high up. It is an 8.
Okay, you look around trying to spot, but in the darkness, it just doesn't look like there's anything but darkness around you.
What a pleasant
And then,
evening.
how far does my dark vision go? It goes 60 feet. Okay, so I wouldn't even see anyone outside.
Yeah, you would hear plenty of sounds of battle, but you wouldn't be able to actually see them clearly, except maybe as a little bit of starlight or moonlight maybe glints off of something once in a while.
Oh, whoa! What did I? Okay, there we go. Somehow I managed to grab the map and start moving it. So yeah, hearing all the commotion going on outside, I actually started taking a step back in to guard the sanctorum entrance. I will bring out my shield, but I'll keep my other hand free. So basically, I'll take, what is it for it? The dodge action. I'll take the dodge action to be sure that I'm not getting hit by anything.
Very good. It is the... Make sure I get the right ones this time. I shifted the board. It is the yellow skeleton. So this one lumbers forward. This one engages Varus. This one lumbers forward. All right, and we've got one melee. Still can't see anything there, on one short bow. One of each. Short sword, short bow. Alright, the short sword on Varus was a 17. That's a hit. Seven piercing. Short bow on Corporal Banders is a hit as well for 5. You hear Banders letting off with some prime cuss words. Relian.
Let me do some quick measurements here. Oh god. I know that one's there, but I don't know that one's there. Which, out of the two of these, this one or this one, which one has taken damage?
The bottom one is the only one that's taken damage.
Okay, well in that case, brilliant. going to step back up, and he's going to do another fun thing. Ooh, none of those hit. Alright, his power trip is done.
Give me just a moment. Couple of things happening in the background here that I've got to get prepared on. All righty.
That's never a good thing for the DM to say.
I'll tell you why there's some dead air going on there. All right, so yours were 3 misses. Actually,
Unfortunately.
your middle one, it goes to the caster or to the attacker. You hit on the middle one.
I'll take it.
And that was on the one by Varys.
No, that one was by the one by Nokre.
So 8 damage.
You're welcome.
Sorry, having a bit of issues on my end, so I'm muted for a moment. But
Yeah, he managed to damage the one near you, so you were fine. All right.
Thank you.
We are up to the orange skeletons, which there aren't many of them left. There's only one, which steps in and takes a swing at Nokre. And that's a hit with 23 unless you have something that can defend. 3 piercing damage on Nokre. You there, Lynn?
I thought I flicked my mic to unmute, so I can't take a reaction again so soon. So no, probably not.
You take 3 damage then. All right.
Oh no. Whatever will I do at 36 health?
Corporal takes another step up and fires. That is this one. Fires his crossbow. Hits 3 damage on the far south one again. He yells over his shoulder at Sir Ambrose, "And a hit for me too! We're even!"
It still only counts as 1.
Scenes of Helm's Deep. And Sir Ambrose laughs and gives a victory pump in the air and fires his crossbow at the same one. He's acting almost like they're taking target practice. And he hits for 2. They're going to nitpick this thing down.
Yeah, follow with enough arrows eventually be able anymore.
Nokre.
Yes. I am going to grab the warhammer with both hands, and I'm going to try and beat the crap out of this little bastard.
That's a hit for 11 damage. And
20.
Yep. And it is down. There are no more oranges on the board, only yellows.
Call me Mellow Yellow.
Since we started the night off talking about black-like posters, that would be just about right. All right, so they're off the board. Cashin.
Cashin is going to run and dash over here and fire his hand crossbow at the one fighting Varys.
That's a hit.
And that's it.
And Varys. Getting
Varys
close to
is
getting him
going-
down.
Yeah, this one's looking pretty damaged, right?
Yes.
He is going to take a trident attack, which probably misses with the 12,
That's a miss.
and then an unarmed attack with his bonus action.
That's
Which
a hit.
crits.
Yes. For 10 damage, he's down.
10 bludgeoning damage doubles to 20 for vulnerability.
Doesn't matter. He's down, period.
Oh,
He's
okay.
down and smashed. You see bones go scattering about 50 feet away. Alrighty. So we,
Looks like there's only
it's only two of them left on the board. Yes, indeed.
I will up alongside Cashin and give him a high five as I'm.
Very good. Shepard, are you watching the battle outside so you can see what's happening to them, or how are you
I
positioned?
did say I started backing in, and I'm doing the dodge action.
Okay, so you're backing in, protecting yourself from the door? Anything that might attack in the doorway?
Yeah, pretty much.
Give me...
Probably would be looking around as well, I guess.
I am going to say give me a perception roll at disadvantage.
Perception roll at disadvantage. That's a 15. Does it take your pick at which one?
There is something just crawls. You have that sense that something is watching you. There is a creepy feeling, and you turn and look over your shoulder, and there were candle lights in the tomb that were all over. There was more light inside the tomb by far than there was outside. It was only candlelight, but you could see quite clearly. Only now the entire interior of the tomb is completely dark to you. You cannot see the candles. You cannot see the tombs behind you. You cannot see anything that is going on. It is as if a wall went up in front of you. Complete
Okay, so
blackness, like a black hole.
So it's unaffected by my dark vision.
It is unaffected by your dark vision.
Well, is it my turn? No.
It is Epiphany's turn.
Epiphany. Is Epiphany noting anything, new arriving?
No,
I guess.
no. The only Shepherd noticed that the entire inside of the tomb went black hole dark.
Epiphany will call out to Shepherd. Is there anything odd over there? I don't know.
A little bit of cheating, but we'll allow it.
Well, because basically we've all been out here shooting things, and then Shepherd strolls out of the thing. He's like,
He seems pretty calm about it.
Yeah. Epiphany would probably be like, essentially like, "Are you coming?"
All right. Is Epiphany doing anything else besides calling out?
No. just trying to coax Shepard to join or not, but basically at this point, Epiphany won't. At the rate that these three are mowing through everything, Epiphany won't get there in time.
All right, Shepard, what are you going to do as this blackness strikes?
This is where I actually begin to exert myself. The dead are being disturbed. I cannot allow this to happen. Main action. Where is it? Main action. I will use my racial ability, Radiant Soul. So there is if Epiphany or anyone else is looking at the Torum, they will see a brief flash of light because my wings and eyes do give off a silvery light. And I will use a flight dash. So I will actually be up in the air and I'll dash into it and I will yell out loud enough, "Your angel of death awaits." And why can I grab the map but not my token? Something's wrong. Okay.
You're on the hand. No, you may have the hand set instead of the arrow.
Oh. But yeah, essentially I'm flying into whether I can actually see into it or not.
Okay, you move blindly into the area and your movement will not encounter anything except maybe walls.
Okay. Whoa. So yeah, I move into the darkness.
And it is if the entire world went away. You see nothing. What kind, is there any kind of magical light associated with this spreading of your wings and doing things?
So let me, oh, I forgot I restarted it. So, Radiant Soul. You can use your action to unleash the divine energy, eyes to glimmer, and 2 luminous incorporeal wings to sprout from your back.
What about light? What about the radius?
It doesn't actually give.
Okay.
It doesn't actually give a I'm a light source. They would just see light just flash because that's essentially what it is before.
Okay. So you are, in spite of you might be able to just barely see the wings where they attach to your shoulders, but once they get out 6 inches from your shoulders, you can't even see that. It is absolute blackness. All right, so our last skeletons are going to try and do what they can here. This one...
That was also just my main action, right?
Oh, okay. I thought you were done.
I thought so as well. I forgot because I don't use the spell too often. Well, actually, I think I do actually use it too often. I will cast Spiritual Weapon and bring in the Scythe.
Okay.
And I am going to make an attack towards the back.
Okay.
Attack the darkness.
Yes, I am attacking the darkness, hoping that I can actually catch whatever
Will be at disadvantage, of course.
Right. Here, I need to bring this back as a separate sheet. There we go. Spiritual Weapon. So that'll be a 10 to hit.
You hit the wall.
I hit the wall.
You hear a rattling. As a matter of fact, you hear 2 rattlings. You hear a rattle as the scythe hits the wall and kind of rattles the Coptic jars or whatever that are right there in your general area. You also hear kind of a Coptic jar rattling coming from slightly away from where you struck. Very odd.
He broke his oaths. He disturbed the ashes.
Can I reasonably tell which direction? Would I have to make a perception roll for that?
It won't give you any improvement on the darkness because things can move around and so forth. But you can tell you are not alone. Something is in there with you. All right, got 2 guys here. This one, about all he can do is keep lumbering forward, trying to get sight. This one We'll lumber forward and fire at the corporal. That is a hit for 7 damage on the corporal, and you hear another curse from the corporal. And that's their turn. Relian.
Everything seems to be in order. I'll leave the cleanup to everyone else. Ryan's going to dash closer to the center, closer to Epi.
The rest of us don't know that anything is going on inside the auditorium, do we?
Not at all. You don't have any idea.
I think only Epiphany would probably be close enough.
Yeah, and even he just said
just that he came out. And
he came out and then went back in. He has no idea. Okay, let me give a couple of heavy crossbow attacks here on this one on the bottom and see what we've got. Both of the guys miss, so it is now Nakri.
Nakri is going to, he's down there now. She is going to start falling back now that the immediate threat right here is. Because something in them old soldier bones is just like, something is not right. I don't like this. And she'll start falling back to at least here. She'll just do like the dash action and move that way. So about here.
Very good. Cashin.
Actually, about there is about 60.
Cashin is going to move over to look and see how Banders and the old dude are doing. And that's it.
Okay, Varys. You're running out of targets, Varys.
Yeah, and I don't know that this skeleton... would I have? No, I don't think I would have, because by the time I got over here, it was all over the other side of the building. I do, however, know that there is one more down here, so I will take the dash, catch it again. It's my turn.
All right. There, let's see. Looking at some things here. This may be what I want. Yes. All right. The shepherd suddenly hears a loud rattling sound coming from the crypts that would be closest to the door. Let me ping. It would be like in this area here, up just before you step into the portico. The first row of tombs or niches that are up near the door here, you hear a loud grating sound at that point.
Okay.
And Epiphany.
Epiphany looks at Relian, where ship was, and starts moving this direction. Why is Shepard leaving? Dad left.
Well, if not, yeah, and if nothing else, I mean, the battle looks like it's about over, so you'd be moving back towards the Sanctorum with the idea of, well, we'll be regrouping or whatever. All right, Shepard.
Shepard is going to move into that direction of wherever I'm hearing this rattling.
All
Still
right.
in the darkness, obviously, probably, right?
Yep. Till you get into the portico area, you're in darkness.
I'm going to move. Here, let me see. Because it can only move 20 feet, or I can move 30 feet. So it's pretty much on my back right now, the scythe.
Yeah.
And then for main action, I'm going to thaumaturgy, and I'm going to make the sound of a bell tolling inside the Sanctorum that lasts a minute, I believe. Yeah, duration is up to 1 minute. I'll cast, or I'll put thaumaturgy so that you know the wording for it.
Yeah, that's fine. In response to your thaumaturgy, you hear a laughter and a voice from behind you that says, touche, 1 for 1, but I win. The skeleton...
If he's behind me, can my do an attack then?
Well, this...
I only moved it, but I didn't attack.
If you use the thaumaturgy as a bonus, no, it's an action.
The thaumaturgy is a main action. The scythe is a bonus action.
Okay, so you can swing your scythe behind you, but you cannot see. All you heard was a disembodied voice.
Right, so it's still at this. Well, even if I could, even if I wasn't facing it, it would still be disadvantaged because of all the darkness. An 18.
18. There is a yelp and a hiss of anger from behind you. All right.
And as I hear that yelp, I'll say something.
Yeah.
Beware the old man in a profession where young men do not survive.
And it is the Skelly's turn, so let's see, he has no line of sight. That poor thing's just lumbering along over there, being ignored, so he's not getting much of anywhere. I've already moved them. But this one will take another shot at poor Corporal Banders. Come on, roll 20. There we go. Hit again on poor Corporal Banders. You hear him yell, "Could use a little help over here."
I'm on my way. Where's the microphone? I'm on my way.
I like that to be in character. Hold on. Where's my microphone?
How do I use? Is this thing on?
I like to imagine that's him fiddling with his trident. I'm on my way. Wait, where's my weapon? Oh, here it is.
Yeah, Rallian.
I just see Epi acting weird, so I'm gonna follow.
And I gotta check something. Just a moment. I suddenly thought.
Would people be hearing the bell toll from the Sanctorium now?
Probably would, yes. I also need to see. Okay, yeah. He's.
Varys probably wouldn't. He's almost 500 feet away. However, once he gets out onto the street, he will see everyone else heading towards the Torm.
Yeah, okay. All right. I had to check to make sure the darkness was still up. Yeah. All right. So what did Varys do? What was Varys doing? Shooting, or what was he doing?
It's not Varys' turn, is it?
Oh no, it's Relian's, right. Excuse me. Too many people. What was Relian doing?
He's just following after Epi.
Okay. Corporal Banders will this time take a step back and fire his weapon. He misses, and Ambrose fires his. He hits solidly, but the thing is still up. He pumps his fist. There! That's how you hit it! He does 8 damage. Alright, we are up to Nakri.
It's gonna take me forever to get down there. Christ. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to go back to the Sanctum, but the other part's like, go protect Banders. How far can I run now? 30? Only 30?
Nakri might see the skeleton coming there.
Doesn't matter if I can see it, I can't hit for jack.
That's fair.
I'm going to bellow out to fall back, but I will move in the direction of Banders to try to cover as much distance as I can to get down there.
Cashin. And then it will be Vera.
Cashin will put himself between Banders and the skeleton while telling Varys to just rush the skeleton. He's going to go there and fire another bolt at the skeleton.
That's a hit. And that takes that one down.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
The only one left is the poor shambling skeleton to the north of that building. It's the only one left on the board. And it's just shambling along. It's not in battle. Varys.
None of us know that it's there.
Yeah, pretty much. Obviously, there must be something still on the board. I'm still moving slowly, so the game must have something somewhere that I have to find. Yes, exactly.
It's that one mob that glitched into the ground in like World of Warcraft where you can't see it, but it's constantly hitting you from under your feet.
It's the segment of the archive missions where you have to eliminate all enemies. Them glitched out and you can't find it.
You can't find that last
he's like
enemy.
around the corner or he's just standing around the corner being like, huh, what?
Okay, Varys, now that apparently all the enemies are dead, he doesn't know about the last one yet. He's going to trot over to Cashin. How bloody does he look? Like, does he look like he's still okay, or is he like, is his screen flashing red?
Cashin still has arrows in him. So your guess is as good as his.
Okay. In that case, Varys will say, hold still a moment. This may hurt. This may pinch. He will put one hand around one of the arrows sticking out of his side. Or let's do the back row. He'll put one hand around the arrow and yank it out with the other hand. Immediately cast Cure Wounds on the hole with the hand around it. So that is going to be for... Sorry, magic takes a while. 8 points of healing.
Will Cashin make any sound when this arrow gets yanked up?
Yeah, I made it just as he did it.
I told you it would hurt. Just give it a second.
You said it'd pinch.
I did say it would
That
pinch.
wasn't a pinch.
I mean, it doesn't pinch anymore, does it?
It felt like you.
Did you die? No.
It felt. No, it didn't pinch. It felt like you were pulling a sharp implement out of my back.
That's pretty much exactly what happened.
Ferris is like,
the feeling.
Ferris is like worst nurse ever.
Oh yeah, Varys is that like 60-year-old nurse who has been doing this way too long to be putting up with anyone's BS anymore.
Like, what a time of you, isn't it?
All right, has he
Varys
done?
is that nurse at the blood drive who stabs you once, doesn't even say anything, just. Oh!
Yeah.
Mm.
Any other actions?
No, that is my movement and my action, and I don't have anything I can do as a bonus action, so I'm good. I'm all done.
All right. Inside the tomb, two things happen simultaneously. Suddenly, the shepherd can completely see the tomb. Get back on this layer. The darkness goes away, leaving for one split second a man standing in front of you with a very dark hood over his face. There is like wisps of darkness evaporating off of him, dissipating off of him as he releases the spell. He is holding a large urn in his arms. He looks at you with a kind of an angry look. You can see his eyes coming out from under it. He is not an undead. You can get enough of a look to tell it is a living being, but he is very heavily shadowed, both in the wisps of darkness and in the darkness of his cloak, holding this large urn as he kind of lifts his hand, and you see an ethereal door open right in front of him, and he steps through.
Do I get an attack of opportunity since he was in front of me?
I will give you one attack of opportunity, yes, before he...
Since I don't have a weapon, I use my fist, pretty much, to... I don't know, can an attack of opportunity with a hand...
You can do a hand.
Be able to grapple?
I'm going to say no, not in this case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just an attack.
So, what do I roll for that since I don't have basic hand slapping as my attack?
Just...
It would be just 1d20 plus your strength.
1d20 plus my strength.
And
which
then
is
the
a -1,
damage
so
is 1 plus something or other.
roll 1d20.
The damage would be
Minus.
1 plus your...
So it would be -1 then?
I don't think you can take a damage. So I think it would just be 1.
No, it did. So 14 to hit.
I keep picking up your scythe. I'm going to move it. It keeps getting in the way of what I'm trying to see.
Yeah, here, I'll move it over there. So 14 to hit.
You hit,
All
and
right,
so you
then
did 1 damage.
The pimp hand strikes hard this day.
What?
Have to have one last word, don't you? And there's almost an audible sound as the door clicks behind him, and he folds up into a line and evaporates.
He was made of paper this entire time.
I let the bell keep ringing.
Oh yeah, people would hear that, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Probably not. I don't know if we would hear it since we're almost 500 feet out.
Epiphany, maybe Relian, maybe Nakri.
But we wouldn't be able to hear the bell, but we would be able...
I'm pretty sure we'd be able to hear it.
Well, I know I did call for everyone to fall back, so if you heard that, then at least, even if you didn't hear the bell, you would have heard Nokri calling for everyone to regroup.
Out of your sight and out of your knowledge, the last skeleton folds up.
One freaking skeleton.
The last skeleton folds up and collapses onto the ground.
Okay. That's acceptable.
You are out of combat.
I'm
Varys
going.
will go over Corporal Bander's another spell slot to test Cure Wound as well.
Very good. He will be very grateful.
I'm gonna yell. I'll see that the combat's over, but yell back. This was a diversion. This might be a diversion, and keep heading towards the sanctum.
So while they're making their way, I'm investigating what urn was taken.
It was one of the largest urns or most ornate urns in the thing. Are you going over and actually reading the
I'm like I said,
plaque?
I'm investigating, so whatever the
Okay.
plaque says is what I'm reading.
Hang on, I gotta bring this back up again because I gotta remember the names. The name read Alphonse Castellanter.
I just stand there right in front of the plaque, just staring down at it.
Grandpa.
Cashin makes his way to Shepard, and he surveys the damage in the sanctorum and looks at the missing urn that at the dais that the missing urn was on that Shepard is looking over.
You would see my wings as well near the ending of their
Duration.
duration, yeah. As well as the scythe is just floating up in the air, kind of like drifting away.
I take it you had your own little dance partner.
Indeed, I did.
Seems they left without giving you anything.
I left him a reminder.
Did you have fun?
No, I did not.
And Cashin just looks over his shoulder to see the name of the person's remains that was stolen.
Alphonse Castellanter.
So, two things. One, the battle outside was clearly a diversion. And two, that was way more than two skeletons. All the reports so far had said it was just like 1, 2, maybe 3. That was at least 8.
He was testing himself.
I don't think he's testing himself. I think he knows exactly what he is doing.
I'm talking about in terms of range and control. Anyone with a plan like this, knowing that there might be a group that will try to stop him on his latest attempt to take something, would prepare better.
He was able to create he was able to make this entire room dark without snuffing out the candles, and he disappeared through a door. That is someone with experience.
Which door? It wasn't the front door. None of us saw him leave.
He used a teleportation spell.
He teleported the door into the room?
It was a door of his making, and the door disappeared.
I'm gonna back up and look around in like the vicinity of like several different directions. I know I won't be able to see much, but she's looking for someone that might be running away in the cover of the moonlight or whatever. Do I need to roll perception or anything?
Yeah, you can roll perception, see what you see.
Yeah, if I didn't enter the thing, I'm standing at the doorway, so I would have just backed up and done that.
In the darkness, as far as you can see, as far as the light allows you to see, you don't see anything but your immediate group. There's no sounds or anything that you can hear within your range.
I fear we may only have one option. Talk to the castle hunters directly and see what they will tell us about him.
First, we should rest ourselves.
I'm not talking about right this second. I'm talking at the first light.
I took a few hits. I've also given a little bit of Cassian and 2 Corporal Banders so far.
Cassian.
Overall, what?
He wants an SH sound instead of an S sound. Cassian instead of Cassin.
Okay. But overall, I think the battle went rather well, even though we ended up falling.
I blew up 4 skeletons.
Yeah, I don't think I actually destroyed. No, that's false. I actually destroyed one of them, but there were a couple of them there that you guys just obliterated before I could do anything.
Corporal Banders and Sir Ambrose are still unaware of what went on in the tomb, and Sir Ambrose is basically congratulating him outside. Well, I think that was a pretty good evening's fight, if I do say so myself. We brought down one of those skeletons. Good fighting, and the rest of you helped me just fine. That was excellent support that you did there. Very good. Do you wish to join me tomorrow night?
We may have a lead on something that might be causing this, and we'll go. I would say you continue to protect the grounds. We will investigate outside to see if we can prevent them from reaching you.
Oh, very well, very well. Corporal Banders, any chance you would assist me? Corporal Banders is kind of mopping at what blood still is weeping out from the wound a little bit, and he kind of looks up at Sir Ambrose and thinks for a moment. Well, no, sir, I will leave that fight to you since I was clearly wounded tonight, but I will see if possibly the guard, based on your high knowledge within the ranks, might send someone to assist you tomorrow night other than myself. Oh, very good, jolly good, very good. And with that, he shoulders his sword across and marches away like he's continuing to patrol the grounds. And Corporal Banders just kind of looks at you and rolls his eyes and kind of closes them a bit.
Shepard, we have injuries out here. Injuries out here. If you can spare at the moment.
I can.
I will. Knocker will just walk up to Banders and speak low to him. They took something of importance from inside. The outside was a diversion.
Why didn't I see that? I should have realized that. It all seemed too pat, and something was gnawing at my back that it seemed wrong, but I assumed we had the inside covered and that they couldn't get in.
They have high-level skill usage. I am thinking we should at least inform the Castellanthers of their grave robberies.
Yes, well, I'm sure the Undertakers will certainly do so, since they said that they had informed them of the others, which was why Sir Ambrose was brought in to begin with.
Is Banders hurt?
Yes.
Yeah, he's hurt, and Cassian was hurt.
So is Varys a little bit. Cassian gets 12, Varys gets 6. Bad is Corporal Banders' wounds.
He's 19 out of 30.
Okay.
That actually almost brought me back up to full. I'm only down one hit point.
Kashin is fully rejuvenated.
I go to Bander's. Come here,
He nods and comes over to you.
and I'll cast Cure Wounds, so he gets 12 back.
I thank you very much. That relieved quite a bit. I appreciate that.
How many people would be in the guard willing to work with us to get to the bottom of this?
Well, matters what rank you can pull. Obviously, you don't have the support of some of the higher-ups involved in this, so you would have to get the support coming from elsewhere, possibly through Sir Gillester or one of the others.
I'm going to see what I can do tomorrow to get that support. This is beyond disgusting in my eyes. I'm going to see what we can do.
I am glaring at Nakri.
Epiphany strolls up.
You disagree with my involvement of the Castle Hunters to begin with?
Indeed. And getting the guard involved.
That is why I am looking for people who are willing to work with us. Not all of the guard is terrible. If we can find people who are going to actually do their jobs, the better.
Yes, I mean, after all, I was part of the watch.
I look at Banders, and then I look back at Nakri. He is the only one I trust.
And that is
I
why
have
I'm
10
asking.
years of experience says otherwise, that they are not trustworthy.
But you are not inside the organization, Shepard. I am trying to be tactful about this. I am respecting your wishes on this whole matter. I am not going to not confer with you, but we are reaching beyond our limit and our range. What would you do in this situation? Would you find people that you can trust, or would you continue to work alone and not get anywhere?
Who says I've gotten nowhere?
Alright, this is getting... Let's just all go home, take some rest, and we'll deal with this with fresh minds.
Corporal Banders nods. Well, I've got to say, the group of you are entertaining, if nothing else. That's been a lot better than my normal guard duties. I almost enjoy working with you. Maybe you'll leave me around here longer.
Very death-defying work.
He grins. With your leaves, sirs and madams, with your leaves, I am going to head back to the barracks. I will see you tomorrow.
Have a safe trip.
He promptly trips. But he heads off, and the group of you are heading back, I assume, to Troll Skull Alley to rest up and be prepared for what you're going to do next. All right. Give me a little bit of heads up so I know what to have available for you. Do you think you are heading for the Castellanters proper, or are you heading for Epiphany's League?
For Epiphany's League.
I would say I want to touch base on both, but I think the Castellanters is going to become like a far distant second involvement. So I would say Epiphany's League first, since they had pretty good information leading up to this point.
Yeah, it'll just seem like because there's the Half-Drow angle, there's the City of the Dead angle, and there's the Castellander angle, all converging on one guy.
Yeah. So we'll start with where we got the most information from, and then work it from there. That's how I think it should be handled.
Very good. So next week on Crone's Crucible, we're going to go probably visit a residence to talk to a man, see what he knows. We will see what occurs next week.
Next time on Crone's Crucible.
Same Crone time, same Crone channel. See ya. Relian, what have you got for us tonight?
Bye, everybody. Remember, nobody hates anybody. Everybody loves everybody. Some people you love to be around, some people you love to avoid, and others you just love to punch in the face.
Right.
So much love in the world.
Those that you love to hate. With that, I will say good night, everyone. Take care. Keep yourself safe. I want you tuning in on the videos. Don't want to lose any of my viewers. Don't want to lose me either. See you next week.
And watch your hands.
Darkness.
Good night.
Wash your hands and keep clean.